Good afternoon, everyone. I want to formally welcome you to this, our Financial Symposium, entitled Dollars and Cents, Rising Above Your Financial Hardships. I want to recognize our esteemed panelists, Ms. Monica Brown, the Executive Director of Student Loans Bureau, Mr. Jeffrey Azan, who is the Managing Director of Select and Start, Ms. Shana K. Wright, who is the Youth Marketing Officer for JN Bank, Mr. Dwayne McIntosh, who is the Organizational Psychologist as well as an entrepreneur, Mr. Alvin Campbell, who is the Senior Corporate Officer for NCB Insurance Company Limited.
Thank you so much, Mr. Haynes, for bringing such short greetings. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite our Guild President, the President of the UE Mona Guild of Students, to join us on the platform as he brings greetings. His name is Mr. Siobhan Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and make him welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, firstly, let me see the hands of everyone in here who's rich. All right, I see a few. Let me see the hands of everyone in here who's going to be rich. All right, I like it. All right, well, you know, me as a man who grew up in a church, and I believe in speaking it into being. So I will always call it down on my friends, and I will say, oh, well, go on, my rich friend, because I know that it must come. The Guild of Students is the student governing body that seeks to holistically develop all of the students here at the University of the West Indies. We believe it is important that we impart certain values upon all students before they leave, one of which, of course, is prudent financial management abilities. This symposium could not have come at a better time. I believe each and every one of us is on the brink of becoming that perfect person, that perfect self, rather. I believe that everyone has the opportunity to make it in life, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, whether you want to work for somebody, be a bank manager, be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, whatever it is. So it's important that we learn to plan, because all right, money isn't the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. Amen? I'm not going to say that. But having money definitely does assist. And we realize that with it, then we don't have many of the problems that we do have. So it's always important that we plan ahead. It's always important that we budget. And it's always important that we know where we're going. This symposium is perfectly suited to do such. And that's why the Guild is in holistic support of this enterprise to the fullest. And of course, we recognize that our young entrepreneurs are also here and they're on the outside. And I invite everyone in here to go and stop at a booth or two, find out what's going on, see how you can be a part. Because entrepreneurship is the next stage in advancing our student body. Everyone can work for someone. We all have to have our own dreams, and we all have to make it somewhere. We have to learn to stand on our own at times, right? Let me get an amen. Amen. Preach. All right. So it's important that we learn to motivate ourselves, right? Minute motivation, right? Amen. So it's important that we learn to motivate ourselves and take that leap of faith. It's important that we link ourselves with people who have a similar mindset. And again, these are some of the very same values that are going to be instilled today after attending this symposium. You have a wonderful panel here lined out, and I just urge everyone here to pay keen attention to what is being said, especially when Dwayne is talking. Pay attention. If you tell you to do something, do it. But everyone in here has a chance to make it in life, and everyone in here will make it in life. By virtue of you being here at the University of the West Indies, you are the cream of the crop, and you are the creme de la creme. And you know, me just feels anyway with me, they are the best. Amen? Amen. So, without further ado, I'll turn the symposium back over to the host, and I bid you all a wonderful day.
We're now going to be hearing from the founder of Minute Motivation, Emmanuel Williams.
Good evening, everyone. It's really cool to see an idea turn reality. It's like, imagine starting the semester, expecting all your fees to be paid and all of that to be taken care of, only to find out that the first red cent is not even there. Imagine yourself being in a situation where mommy's salary had to do everything, like pay the bills, feed the dog, do grocery, and live, while daddy didn't have a job. And they only sent you what they had left, $10,000. Jamaican, by the way. Now imagine the stress, the anxiety, and nervousness just going to class every day and not being registered. Wondering if it's worth it, wondering if you should stop school, because, all right, let's be real. What's the point? What if you were unable to pay for your classes just few days before sitting in an exam room? Well, this was my reality last semester, for the entire semester. I felt kind of embarrassed with this issue because even at one point I was locked out of my room for not being able to pay my monthly fees. Sad. Before all this, I was living lavish, braffing, not investing, not saving. You know, regular university students, we braff. Not even a little 2 pence. And for those who don't know, braff means to have fun, have a good time, enjoy, party, that sort of thing. Braff. 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 I thought about it over and over, and I realized this situation isn't unique to me. I'm not the only one who's going through this situation. Some of you here today have the same issue or other problems as well. And I'm here to let you know that once you have the knowledge that can help you, once you have the information, you can rise above your financial struggles. This is the first staging of the Dollars and Cents Symposium. It's not just some forum or an extension of the Minute Motivation brand, but it's something that I deeply believe can help students. I don't want anyone to experience the things that I've been through. We are the millennials that they praise and bring down at the same time. We are the people who will be making decisions after we leave university. And let's be real. As my father said, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Amen. Today, this symposium is an extension of what I believe and want to see happen. Every individual rise above their financial hardships, live your best life, and be the best version of yourself. You see, Minute Motivation is a personal development movement, a community made up of people like you and me who want to improve ourselves and live to our maximum potential. When I started Minute Motivation on October 24, 2016, I had a vision just to share motivational videos on social media to inspire people on Mondays. And by the way, guys, if you're not following, you can ask your friends who are not here at Minute Motivation Money, Instagram. Since this time, the brand has grown, and we've hosted our first workshop last semester. And we leveled up this year, Jeffrey, and we're having our first Financial Symposium. Minute Motivation is positioning to be a global inspirational network born in Jamaica that will bring hope and wellness to the world. Today we have 6 panelists, 8 entrepreneurs, and several sponsors who, by this belief, have partnered with us to stage an event like this. This will add value to the lives of students here. This symposium will cover a wide range of topics, such as the power of investing, money management and you, and planning for retirement and networking today. So my fellow friends, my fellow students who I really care about, and who know the struggle of coming from country with just the school things and no fees, who want to start a business but don't have the startup money, take notes, listen keenly, and get ready to rise above your financial hardships. I am Emmanuel Williams, and I say meds it and get it.
All right, so at this time, coming to us, we'll be having a little entertainment by Lady Brianna Irons. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Yeah, thank you.
Many nights we've prayed with no proof anyone could hear. In our hearts a hopeful song we barely understood. Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe, somehow you will. You will when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe, somehow you will. You will when you believe. Thank you.
So it's now time for the meat of the matter. I want to get it started by just quickly making reference to the definition of two words. The first one I'm going to define is posterity, P-O-S-T-E-R-I-T-Y, which means planning for future generations of people. It has a biblical reference. God offered Abram a posterity like the stars of heaven, your progeny, your children. Old time people used to say, "May I have out my lot because my children will be my retirement and my pension in my retirement." So several generations of Jamaicans can be described as a posterity generation. But I'm introducing the panelists now, and I'm giving them a programming note, reminding them that they're no longer speaking to the posterity generation, which we represent. They're speaking to the prosperity generation. And I don't want nobody to send this out live on social media to say, Price changed from where he is to where others are. And the first reference of prosperity to this nation is actually to be found in the last sentence of our national pledge, which is my favorite of our three national symbols. The flag, the most obvious, the anthem, one that we all enjoy singing, but the pledge, which commands us at the last sentence, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. The problem is the posterity generations that precede us spoke about it, but did not appreciate that to give it life, a change in outlook was required. So when I speak to young people, whether on campus as a lecturer, well, across the road at UTech, or elsewhere, socially, all that they ask can be synthesized into one question: what's in it for me? I remember cricket language talk about lick it for six, which was the biggest score you can get. And then you know have this slang that said a six them there. And then that's no longer sufficient because it's now about tens them out. And I use these examples because I want to attune your ears as the audience and the minds of the presenters to appreciate that if you're not answering the question to youth today, what's in it for me, by showing them that they, through interacting with your brand, can harvest for themselves their own prosperity, you really have not started to communicate. Jeffari? Yes, come forward. I understand that Jeffari has a script that will formally introduce each of the panelists. So Jeffari, please come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was about to signal Mr. Raymond to continue because he was doing such a good job. But nonetheless, I'm going to carry out my duties. So from uttermost right, starting first with Mr. Alvin Campbell, and he's a senior corporate officer at NCB Insurance Company Limited. Today he will be speaking on how to be financially savvy, smart, and sexy in today's harsh economic environment. So you will get more involved in the discussion. Continuing, we have Mr. Dwayne McIntosh. He's an organizational psychologist. He's an organizational psychologist and entrepreneur, and he'll be speaking on entrepreneurship, getting your piece of the pie. Moving right along, we have Miss Shanna K. Wright, and she's the Youth Marketing Officer at JN Bank. And she'll be speaking on, now that I'm out, what's next? Mr. Jeffrey Azan is a Managing Director and Game Changer, Select and Start. He'll be speaking on adding value to the marketplace. And finally, we have Miss Monica Brown, who is the Executive Director at the Students Loan Bureau, and she'll be speaking on navigating the good, bad, and ugly. So, as everybody before me, we are inviting you guys to indulge, get involved in the discussion, and it promises to be a very educational one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jafari. And for those who don't know, Jafari is actually the guild representative for the Faculty of Social Sciences. So we are at the point of the program that everybody is excited about. It is time to hear from our panelists. And so they will go in this particular order. Miss Monica Brown, and then Mr. Jeffrey Azan, Miss Shanna K. Wright, Mr. Dwayne McIntosh, and then you will have you, Mr. Campbell. So it will go in the order in which you are seated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? All right, and I'm ready too. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Miss Monica Brown, who will be speaking on navigating the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Good afternoon, everyone. I seem to have got the most difficult topic, but I'll try my best to impart some very wise words to you this afternoon. It is indeed my pleasure to come back to my alma mater, University of the West Indies, Social Science faculty, and I'm really happy to have the opportunity to speak to you this afternoon in this your first symposium, your first financial symposium with the theme Dollars and Cents, Rising Above Financial Hardships. I represent the Students Loan Bureau, as you would have heard, and we're an institution that students love to hate. We play a very vital role in financing the fees for a number of you. Our records show that approximately 30% or so of the students, and this is average, so it varies from institution to institution, but approximately 30% of the students in tertiary institutions are funded through the Students Loan Bureau. The Students Loan Bureau, we pay the fees for those who apply, and we go through a process each year where we invite you to make your applications and to bring your documents to support the applications, and at the end of the day, we disburse loans to you. But some persons sort of don't treat it with the seriousness that it ought to be treated with. So it could result in delays in disbursing your loans. And when that happens, it affects you in terms of how you're able to progress through the process. So one of the things that I'd want to say to you is if you apply for a student loan, just try your best and put all your documentation together and make the process as easy as possible. It is not as difficult as some persons try to make it out to be, but I know from time to time there are challenges for some persons in meeting the requirements. And where you have those challenges, we invite you to come and speak to us. When you do not submit your application during the required period, you're going to be asked to pay a late fee if we're going to allow you to send in an application. That is an unnecessary spending of $5,000, which, you know, is difficult to come by. So just stick to the deadlines and submit your application within the time frame so that your application can get processed in time. Take in your documents, pay your fees, and disbursement is what will happen in short order. I know that there are exceptions, and in the discussion, some of these will come out because I know you have a lot of questions. So when we really become the bad guy is after 3 years or 5 years in university, and we call on you to start paying. So would have given you the loans for year 1, year 2, year 3, and if you're doing medicine or law, 4 and 5, or Norman Manley 1 and 2. But we must collect because the government is giving us taxpayers' money to lend to you so that you can get an education and you can better yourselves and your families. So if we don't collect, then others who come after you will not be able to get the similar benefit that you have got. I know that there are challenges in getting jobs immediately after you leave university. We allow a 6-month period, and we hope that during that period you will find a job and start paying your loan the following January. I know that there are challenges, and what we do is we want you to come and talk to us. If you have difficulties starting the payment of your loan in January, we want you to come and talk to us and say, boy, you know, I've been looking at a job, I've not yet got a job, so can you please defer my payment until, you know, another period when hopefully I'll get a job. But that continual dialogue is important. If you talk to us, we are put in a position to do something to help you. If you don't talk to us, we are not in a position to help you. So the loan is in repayment, and we expect that you will start paying by the end of January. If that does not happen, the loan will enter delinquency shortly thereafter. And it continues until we may end up sending the loan to a debt collector. That we really do not want to do. And we do that as a last resort. We may publish your beautiful faces, which we do not want to do either. But it really becomes financially difficult once your loan gets into arrears and into delinquency and chronic delinquency. Because when we have to farm out your account to a debt collector, there's a commission that they're going to charge because they're not going to work for free. So it's another 20% on top of what you owe. So I really want to encourage you all to be as fiscally prudent, fiscally responsible as possible. And where you have a difficulty paying your student loan, just come in and talk to us. We will listen to you, and we will see what arrangements can be put in place. And if you come to an officer and they give you a lot of static and so, ask to see the supervisor, ask to see the manager. But bottom line is we have to be able to collect. There are persons who get jobs and the pay is small, so you can't do everything. Come and talk to us. Bring in your last 3 pay slips, and we will see how we can restructure or reschedule your loan so that the monthly amounts become more manageable. So we really, really want you to keep in touch with us, because when you stay away and hide, what we do is ask somebody to help us to find you. And we don't want that. We provide about between 13 and 14,000 approvals each year. And about 11,000, 10,000 take up the loan. Some of you I know go off on your work program and are able to make up the funds to pay even some of your fees. If that happens, having applied for a loan, you need to indicate to us that you will no longer need the student loan and you want to cancel. Studying is really difficult. Studying at the university level can be challenging. It is very expensive. You don't want to fail, because when you fail, it's like throwing away your money. You have to see the spend as an investment in yourself. And having invested in yourself, it will pay dividends. It may not pay you the type of dividends that you need immediately, but over time it will pay off. Because all of us you see on the panel, the moderators, all of us were sitting in these seats at one stage or other. And back then it was challenging, and I know it is even more challenging now. But there's help. So you need to do what you need to do so that the process is not as difficult as it appears to be. There's also a grant in addition to the loan that some of you are eligible for, and this is done through a means test. If you are not selected through the means test, you can write to us for consideration. In some instances, the universities make recommendations to us as to who may need extra help. But we want to help you. I know persons have challenges with guarantors. If you don't have a guarantor, we're not saying everybody can get a loan without guarantor, but there's a special process that we can put you through so that you can get consideration. I remember recently we saw this young man who had no family at all. He lives in a shelter somewhere in the downtown area, had no guarantors. And we were able to put him through the process and approve him for a student loan. So there are a lot of good about student loan, and I would want to think that we are mostly good. And if you work with us and do what you're supposed to do, we can make it work. There are some areas that we know that we need to tighten up on, and we continue to review those areas with a view to strengthening, but recognize that it is not easy to process 13 or 14,000 persons and their guarantors each year, and much of it is manual. So we are relying on you. If we ask for 6 documents to support your application, don't give us 4 and say, oh, send in all my documents. Give us all of them, because if you don't give us all of them, we're not in a position to complete the process. Sometimes the documents are submitted and not properly signed. We have to send them back to you, and you or ask you to resubmit, and you quarrel and you say that, you know, I've already submitted the document and they asked me to submit it again, or they lost my document. Bottom line is each of us has a responsibility, and we have to do our part so that it can work. It is not impossible. Thousands and thousands of Jamaicans have benefited over the years from student loan, and they are operating in very, very senior positions in their professions across the society. So I implore all of you to continue to do your best. Work hard, cooperate with us. Don't wait until the last minute to submit your application. And when your loan enters repayment, don't wait until it enters delinquency before you say, oh, I have a problem or I don't have a job. When that happens, it enters delinquency, start to attract late fees and some other charges and accrued interest. And it is difficult to get out of that spiral without some windfall, which not many persons can access. So we are willing to work with you so that in the final analysis, the investment in your education will pay off. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. All right, you see, here's my problem with afternoon, right? Every greeting has definition and it has meaning. So the definition of a welcome to a situation, but the meaning is going to be very different. So if I came out here and I said good night, it would give the meaning, not of a greeting, but today is over. And many of our presenters came out today and they've said good evening, because in Jamaica, good evening means I'm at a formal function. But good afternoon often indicates either what is for lunch or what was for lunch. Now, if we're talking about money, I can't have no out here hungry by on the belly. I need no wallets to be hungry, right? Not the belly. So can't go good afternoon. So the only one that's really hungry, what is hungry is good morning, because you see, to make money, it takes new opportunities. So we need to step into a new opportunity to make some money. Fair enough? Yeah. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yes, man. Now you're with me. Now you're with me. So there's two things I need to give away first and foremost. First thing, you see, very often we live in a very Christian-oriented society, and we're not bashing the Bible. That's not what I'm doing here. But you see what ends up happening, you have to be very careful about what teachers you take lessons from. We had our guild president come out and he quoted the Bible and he said, the love of money is the root of all evil. And we grow up learning that, and some of us learn what I'd call the bastardized version, which is just money is evil. Right? No, man, I'm talking to myself. Right? All right. But you see the same Bible, the very same Bible that said the love of money is the root of all evil, that very same Bible say money is the solution to all things. So if you never know that, you need to go tell somebody next time them tell you money is evil. The same good book, I think I dare say, I want to say it's Ecclesiastes 10 verse 18. You can go check it. If it's not 18, check 19 around that area. But it did it. Money is a solution to all things. And that's what that is in Ecclesiastes. And that's what we're here to talk about. Now, get out your notebooks, because I'm going to go quickly. I don't have 3 hours, which is how long my money workshop normally take. I have what, 20 minutes? If so much, 15. Right? So get out the notes. We're going to move through wealth stages in life. We'll have 5, even faster. We have wealth stages in life, all right? First stage, which most of us are born into, is called financial distress, where we have more month than money, right? Financial distress, more month than money. Then we try to work our way. That's what all of you are here doing. You're here to get an education, to get a job, to move from financial distress into financial management. Financial management means the month and the money just about equal. Then you want to move from financial management to financial security. And financial security is where your money start making money. If your money not making money, you are not financially secure. And the last stage, which we love to talk about and read about, is financial freedom. Now here's a joke about financial freedom. Financial freedom actually requires you to do very little with money. To get financial freedom requires you to do more with your time and your energy. Because to achieve financial freedom means you need to make time to plan, and you need to make time to do research. If you do not do those 2 things, you will never be financially free. At best, you'll be financially secure. Fair enough? All right. So we're going to backtrack a little now, financial management, because that's where you're moving into. And I was asked to speak about creating value in the market space. And I'm going to keep it very simple. The wealthiest people serve the most people. The wealthiest people serve the most people. And you can think about it in any way, in any profession, for any individual. You want to talk about a CEO at the who is drive big car and have nice things and flying private jet. How many people do they need to provide a living for so that they can do those things? How many employees do they need to have in order to have those things? So they are employing and empowering and providing hundreds, thousands, and in some instances, tens of thousands of people job opportunity. And that's why they're the wealth. If you're looking at people who produce things that we get to touch and that we get to interact with, an author, the millionaire and billionaire authors, the book hands of millions and billions of people. It must touch millions and billions of lives. Now here's the problem. Most of you in here want financial freedom and you don't want to serve anybody. You do not want to serve anybody. You want to get a degree, and somewhere along your education line you thought that when school is over and you get the degree and get a pay slip. I'm here to tell you, I've had a master's in marketing apply to be a bag boy because that's how tough the job market is. Next time you go in your class, especially if you're a final year, look around at all the people in the group with you. It's going to be a couple hundred people, and you're all coming out with the same degree. Do you think there are that many jobs in that field right here, right now? What's going to set you apart is not your degree, it's going to be your ability to serve. I was called and asked to speak before you today, not because I'm the best speaker in Jamaica. I work in my way there. That's the goal. I'm not here to speak to you today because I put on conferences and workshops. I'm here speaking to you today because I took the time to serve. In my personal profession, developing as a speaker, I had to do my first 100 plus speeches for free before somebody paid me. But when they paid me, that first time I got paid, I was paid $85,000 for 1 hour of my time. But it took 100 plus speeches to get there. How many of you are willing to do that? How many of you are willing to serve to earn? You want to be an entrepreneur? Great. Who are you serving? You want to work with a company? Wonderful. Who are you serving? You want to build your own product and service? Fantastic. Who are you serving? Our MC spoke about living in a Jamaica of prosperity and that you are the future decision makers, that you are the ones that will make a difference. But if you're not willing to serve me, I don't want you leading me. Don't get it mixed up. You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to study a lot. You're going to have to network and you're going to have to connect. You're going to have to get information and apply information. But if you fail to serve, you have failed yourself to be rewarded. And I leave it to you in a very simple way here. In everything you do, there's always going to be another level. You're never going to max out. You're never going to be your best. You're going to be your best at that level. So I challenge you very simply today, always find another level. Or as my friend would put it, don't stop leveling up.
I did not plan to come and say good morning, but I'll be using that going forward. I like it. I am Shanna K. Wright. I am Youth Marketing Officer at JN Bank, where I am in charge of the JN Wise Aspiring Youth Program, as well as the JN School Savers Program. I am going to ask a show of hands, persons who know about either of those programs. Oh, wow, that's not good. No, for real, nobody knows about Janeway? Yes. Oh, you just know about JNY, that's right. Okay, let me just say it again. Those who know JNY, just show your hands, please. Okay, great. Quick plug. We are currently recruiting ambassadors for our 2019-2020 academic year. So if you're interested, you can speak to us or follow us on Instagram at JNY. Okay, but why am I here today? I am here because I've been invited to speak on now that I'm out, what's next? So I'm assuming that there are some final year students in the house. I'm sure that there are a few, those final year students are thinking, okay, May's coming up, that last exam, I'm not sure if exam dates have been put out, but you're already thinking about the morning after all the exams and everything, and you may be thinking, what's next? None of us are thinking about that? Don't worry, after exam, you'll figure that part out. So, okay, so reality check. After exams, after summer, that first Monday morning when everybody is going to school and some people are going to work, that is when it's going to hit you, especially if you don't have a job. For persons who are thinking that, okay, I'm secured, mommy has a company, daddy has a company, I'll be okay. It won't be the same for other persons who mommy sent it from country, as Emmanuel would have mentioned. Daddy sent it from country. You're in Kingston. You're going back to country. Nobody in here going back to country? Okay. Now let me tell you about my experience with the reality check. So when I finished UE, I lived on campus for 3 years. I lived on Preston Hall. 3 years at UE. Big up Preston Hall. And I was a person who I was very active on campus, well, on Preston Hall. And what I did was, I lived on Hall, I did everything on Hall, and I stayed on after coming back for second year, straight up until final year. And that May when I was moving out, and I was packing up my room, and I realized how many free things I have from Preston, and I was heading home, mommy said to me, but you look like you never plan to come back. I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, that's right. But I had to go back home because guess what? I had no job in Kingston. Summer is here, you have to go. And here I am going back to St. Elizabeth. So what I did was I decided that, here what, I'm not staying down here. I did marketing. How much things am I going to market in St. E? Nothing is wrong with St. Elizabeth, and big up to everybody who come from country. But what I'm saying is that my passion is events management, creative things, and that is what I wanted to do. And I didn't see as many experiences in St. Elizabeth for me. So what I did was I realized it would have been a weird space. Here I was on campus just living, as we would say, braffing, enjoying campus life. I never know anywhere in Kingston, first of all. I just literally knew UE campus. And what I realized too, I was saying, okay, this is a very weird space. So you're used to your freedom on campus, now you're back home. Some of you may have had curfews when you were in high school, now you have it again because you're back home. You're not making any money, so you can't act like you're a big man or a big woman. No? Because they're not making any money. People who are not making money should not be acting like big man and big woman, right? So it's a weird space to be in. So what I've realized is that I say, okay, well, I need to do an internship or something because I'm not staying home. Like my brain was just going on and on. And I realized too that that weird space between the final exam in May and me getting my job the Monday morning after I graduated from UE was the weirdest space in my life ever. Because I was there sending out resumes, and trust me, it's going to be very hard. You send out resumes, nobody replies. You make some calls, nothing happens. But the good thing is that you're not supposed to panic. And I can say this now because I've passed that part, right? Don't panic. Think about it as a great challenge. Let us look at what you have to offer. Organize, centralize, come as one. Nobody know that? Okay, cool, no problem. It's a song, Organize, Centralize, Come as One. So the idea now is that you have to look at what you want and think about what you plan to do with your life. So other speakers would have spoken about, oh, you have to look at the forward and think about it, and you meds it, and you plan it, and you get it. But you have to look at the risk and the rewards. So what I had to do was, in St. Elizabeth, I had a friend of mine who I was going through a panic mode. As I said, don't panic. I went through the panic mode, and I explained to him that, well, there's some companies in Kingston who are having job offers that I'm interested in, but like, where am I going to live? I lived on Preston for 3 years. I don't think they're going to take me back. And what am I going to do? So what he noted to me was, make a list of the opportunities that you'd want in Kingston and the opportunities that will be available for you in St. Elizabeth. And what he noted too was, write down everything you think you need from both of them. And when I finished writing down my list, and I look at the Kingston leg, I wrote about, oh, I would have to pay rent, I'd have to figure out Kingston. As I said, I live on campus. I don't go anywhere in Kingston. And I was thinking about the fact too that I'd probably have to take taxi, and I'd have to do all of this, and then when I look at the St. Elizabeth side, I realize that, oh, I probably have to work in a bank, or, well, in the bank, not for the bank, as I do know, but more like in the bank, or become a teacher or something like that. And I can't teach anybody to save my life. I don't have the patience, unfortunately. But when I realized my list, I was saying to myself, okay, well, I have to go to Kingston. Now, how the next part works is useful links. Now, we know about links around the world, and we do know about that, right? Yes. But it's not just any links, because you can have bad links and you can have good links. So when I finished my internship, I did do an internship for about 6 weeks at a bank in St. Elizabeth. And when it was finished, I was thinking to myself that, you sure you don't want to keep me on? Like, I don't have nothing else to do. I'm just here. And they're like, oh, you have to go through an assessment. Because what I went on for was for the summer, and now I'm going to go through the whole real process of applying and getting rejected or not and whatnot. So while I was there waiting, we were preparing for graduation. And I actually got a call from, it was a rep on Brex at the time, I believe, because we served together on the guild. And he said he knows somebody who is searching for somebody to work in a company. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, where, how, what? He's like, okay, here's the email address. And he just said, send in your resume. I think you're good for it. And I was saying, first of all, where am I going to live? And I went back to my list in my head. I was thinking taxi and good people in Kingston, all kinds of weird stuff. So I just decided to just go ahead and send it in. And useful links again, being good on campus, talking to people, talking to admin. I know persons on hall, sometimes we have issues talking to admin. So in terms of my useful link, remember I don't have anywhere to live in Kingston. So coming Kingston for the interview, I had to call Preston Hall. And I was like, hi, so I have an interview in Kingston. I need your help. I have nowhere to stay. And they said, oh, no problem, Shana. You were deputy hall chair and whatnot. You can get a room for the night. So I was like, no problem. And I pack up my things and I come up. While I was in Kingston, remember I don't know Kingston, the same persons on Preston Hall, they actually brought me around to the interview. And when I did the interview, I just realized I couldn't let them down. So what's next and why it was a weird space? So many people are depending on you like, oh, I helped you do this, and you really can't fail. They really never say it, but I was just feeling it. So what I decided to do was, all right, just start something. Anything happen, just happen, right? What's interesting to know is, when I started working at JN, it was the Monday morning after I graduated on the Saturday at UA. That's a very blessed moment for me, and I give thanks. But it wasn't a 5-year contract. It was a come in for 3 months. Let us see if this is going to work out. That makes sense? It makes sense? So I'm coming from country. I don't have anywhere to stay. Now I'm staying with a friend who is doing her master's. And they said, come in for 3 months, make us see what you can do. And I decided that, well, I'm going to Kingston, make them see what I can do. That was about 5 or 6 years ago. And I guess it kind of worked out because here I am doing a thing, doing what I can do, I'm assuming. So yeah, big me up, right? So I'm saying that to say too that I know how you can stay that, yo, I come 3 years, come do this nice marketing degree, and you want to come take me in for 3 months and whatever. Listen, guys, you can't start at the top. There's absolutely no way you're going to start at the top unless you're an entrepreneur. And I know Dwayne will come and tell you that it's don't easy. Sometimes you'll have to bounce ideas off your friends, and sometimes you may have to pay them to give you those ideas. So don't believe that you'll ever start at the top. So taking an internship to gain experience, that's a perfect thing to do after you finish with college. Next thing, 1 year after I started working, I realized that I have $4,000 saved. I'm like, so how me I work? Like, where's the money? And I was saying to myself that, I don't think this makes sense. I can't be working and don't have any saving money. How that makes sense? So what I decided to do, research. So Mr. Azan would have said it before. There's so many things out there. And I won't be just speaking as it because I work at JN and I have to tell you about JN things. No, do your research. Find out where easy things are and how easy it is to start a savings account or a credit union or whatever the case is. And what I decided to do was, JN has a partner plan. And I said that, here what, I'm going to do it for 4 months first to see if I can really manage this $1,000 a week thing. Because first year working, $1,000 seemed like enough money. $1,000 still enough money on campus or no? Still enough money, right? So I'm thinking to myself, if I'm going to put away $1,000 every week, that's a lot of money. But I decided that, look, if I want to see this money by the end of the year, I have to do this now. And that is what I did. And since that time, I've always just kept on doing a partner plan, and then I moved up to a high yield account. No, I'm not rich. I'm almost there, though. So what will happen, though, is that the habit that you're creating is going to allow you to do better and bigger things as you move on in whatever career that you're a part of. Right? So don't be confused, don't be too panicky as you move on away from college. And for persons who are still in your second year, going into your third year and so on, don't believe that, oh, this is not for me because I have 2 more years leave or whatever. you have to ensure that you start planning now. So, shameless plug, at JN Bank, we offer a $500 account for students. So once you're a student here at University of the West Indies, it's only $500 to open your account. Less than the $1,000 it probably can't manage. And what we are encouraging students is to say, 500, you may not have all of the 500 now, but put aside $100 Monday to Friday, and you'll be surprised there's a $500, right? And just remember, you'll be okay. You may not see it right now, but it's all about what you do in the long run. It's all about planning, organizing your resources, keeping your links tight and secured, so that when you leave school, your friend at Karamak may know somebody, your friend in Med may know somebody who's looking for somebody to be a part of something. So keep your options open, and don't turn down internships, especially if you have no other options. Just try, and you never know what can happen, because that's what I did, and I'm here. So thank you very much.
All right, so you all want to learn about entrepreneurship. Let me see the hands of all those who have businesses here. You have a business already? Where you run? Keep your hands up. Jeffrey. Hey, Mr. Lema talk about who want to be rich and Azan all up here. Like me not going to Mega Mart every week and give my money. All right. So let me see the hands again. All right. And let me see the hands of those who want to be entrepreneurs. So where is our no one do? Bravo. All right. So the hands up again. Second set of people. So I'm gonna ask. All right. So T come know you, so you may go pick pan. Why you not started?
Startup capital.
Startup capital. You know what your startup capital should be? No man, you don't have to tell me. But you know how much it's supposed to be? Why you not started?
The capital as well as fully penciling out the idea.
Okay, anybody else? Why you not started? All right. No one talk to me, but it's all right. So, I have here, I have $1,000 here. Who want this $1,000 here? You want it round my back? Who else said they would have want this? You, Tico, you. So who want this $1,000? Like seriously, really and truly would have want the $1,000? What? Who want the $1,000? Who want the $1,000? Who want the see $1,000?
No!
All right. Can anyone, it's bad man. Can anyone tell me what the lesson was just now? If you want it, you go out there and take it. So here's what's going to happen. It happens to everybody in every facet of life. Right? What happens is, we're there, kind of really want to take it. Kind of think about, I wonder if I'm going to look stupid. I wonder if I'm going to reject. All I'm money more is look at girl. No man sit down and make girl look them hold up on her and who make girl look on her. If you not sit down and make girl look on her. Let me see all the girls who sit down and make man look them. Let me see all the hands of the girls who actually go for a guy that they want. Who said no? You don't go for a guy that you want? I mean, other people take him away though. Yeah, boy, that didn't have in DMs, you know. But you never get him, right? So that is what happens to a lot of potential entrepreneurs. What they do is that they see the goal, the prize, the result that they want, but because of fear, because of issues with self-confidence, there are many issues, whatever they are. People in your ears, man, I think I should have do that. Have you ever noticed that people are still saying they're not supposed to do it, not do nothing themselves? You ever notice that? And when you actually make some money, like everybody becomes some financial advisor, like me have to rough up some people the other day. Why are you saying we're going to spend any money out of that?
Me say, why you not take your money and do what you think you're supposed to do with it? What do you mean? You say he only spends 20% of his money. And a lot of what he gets is free. So he only look like him a braff, but he not really braff out of his pocket. Free braff. Right? So, I am here to tell you today, and I see people who are older than I am here, so I'm going to behave myself. But sometimes I'm very raw and very expressive. But I'm very to tell you that fear ain't doo-doo. It's nothing. It's just something that you create in your mind that will stop you from going after the things that you want to achieve. And I will tell you this. The first act of breaking fear is to take your pen, take your book or your pencil, and write down what you want. Just write it down. As stupid as it might. Listen, one of my goals, let me know, was to get a girl and let me write it down, you know. I say, you want a girl like that. Never get her still, but, you know what I mean? But that's the point. The point is, you have to write down the things and what you want in your life. Long term, medium term, short term. Long term is 7 to 10 years, on average. Right? And medium term, Jeffrey, is what? 4 to 6 years. And then 1 to 3 is short term. So being in college is really and truly a short term plan. It seems long, can't wait till exam time for study. As teacher, I teach psychology here, and I have some students, I see a problem. I tell them to read and then come to class, sir, it doesn't matter. But so it go. But this is a short term plan. And my learned friend here, she was on Preston, was on campus. She participated in everything for real. Will tell you that this go run off quick. And UE is really a microcosm of the wider society. But it's a very safe microcosm. In other words, you wake up in the morning, you have kitchen, bathroom, blah, blah, blah. You want a girl, you walk over one block. You want class, you walk over to KFC, Pizza Hut, whatever. Drugs, guns, whatever. Right? It's all here. Sorry, edit out that. Edit out the drugs, guns part. Right? It's all here. But guess what? When you reach, hey, one of the wickedest things that happen to me, I rent, you know. When I step out of the road, when I there, so I bra for real, you know. I hold up a bra for you know, the hope you're so still, you know. I bra for real. And when I step out and I decide, say, all right, I'm going to go live uptown. Jesus. And the lady said 2 months. If you pay 2 months up front, first month, last month, and then you pay actual rent. I said, Jesus. And she want a resume and something. No, say, I'm not a criminal. If I come in her place, go and kill her. Right? Them something that go jerk you if you're not ready. Now, as it relates to entrepreneurship, do you at least have a vision of where you want to go? Say another 3 years from now. Anybody have a vision? You have an idea? All right, so what I want you to do is, everybody on Instagram? All right, I'll give you a look at thing now. This just come to mind. Just write on a piece of paper. Because here's what's going to happen. Only 3% of who we speak to here today actually are going to do something. And of that 3%, only 1% are going to really do something. So someone are going to start, like them two here, come up and stop. And then you're going to have the one person who come and just take the money. So here I'm here, so now take out the paper. Here's what I want to write on it. Because I know all on love Instagram and show off and tell lie. And when another man left before, I go talk to another man, I go on Instagram, I cuss about niggas ain't whatever. So here's what you're going to write on it. Ready? Please ask me about this later, this blank sheet of paper later. Done that? Take a picture of it and post it in your stories.
Very serious as judge. Judy. Right? Hashtag dollars and cents. You can at me and at JJ. My Instagram, please don't laugh. It's Mac no makeup. M-A-C, I'm not telling you nothing laugh. M-A-C _ N-O _ makeup. And my real name is Dwayne McIntosh. So you can search like, I want to use this picture. I'm going to get a different picture for use. Anyway, all right. And the reason I'm telling you that is because when I leave here, enough I go forget what I go on. Yes, I go on to your normal life and the stresses because I'm mid-semester time now. All right? But this holds you accountable. So at least when you go home, can you go back to your story them to see who did up, see them or whatever. And then some people might actually ask you, what the hell is this? And that will prompt you to start writing down your goals. Medium term, short term, long term, medium term. And you want to divide them up in financial, personal, and career. Right? We can get into some deeper ones. JJ can help you with that. Okay? How did this building right here so come about? This one will always sit down in right now. How did it come about? Some architects did it and then built it? Huh? Yes. So it was in the mind of somebody. You know where I'm going with that? It means that everything that exists was only just an idea. How many ideas is this building? Just one. One idea. Right? So you lead by faith. You set your goals. I mean, you must achieve all of them, but you set them. And you lead by faith that it's going to happen. How many persons have ever heard of this thing about don't count your chickens before they hatch? Everybody hear that? Who count their chicken before they hatch? I count all of my chicken them every time before they hatch. And that's another thing. I'm going to get back to that. But we have been grown and socialized in what I call linear thinking. One-dimensional. So if I say to you, hey, diddle diddle, first thing will pop in your mind is what? The cat and the fiddle. And cow jump over moon, all sort of foolishness. Or I say Jack and Jill. Next thing will pop in your mind is went up a hill to fetch a pail of water. But why would Jack and Jill, sensibly go up a hill to catch water? Water up there, warm to gravity. We are exposed to linear thinking, so we start thinking one-dimensional. So you're here studying a particular thing, and then people tell you, you're an accountant, you're an accountant, you're an accountant, and that's all you're supposed to do for the rest of your life. Here's where we went wrong in our education system. At 14 years old, they told you in high school that you're supposed to choose subjects that will determine what it is that you will be for the rest of your life. And we bought it. And you don't think of yourself as anything else. So you come here, I do your degree, because you plan to get a job. Because of that, everybody else tell you to do. And there's nothing wrong with having a job. I have a job. But I'm also an entrepreneur. So I call myself an entrepreneur. So you work in a job, but you operate as if you're an entrepreneur. Right? Don't subscribe to them things. You're bigger than that. When you were younger, you did everything, right? And you did quite a few of them well. You never do everything well, but you did quite a few of them well. So why now you're only stuck with one thing? Because everybody tells you must do that? Why? Why you can't be a doctor who is a lawyer? Seriously. I have a friend who did it. So why? You see, if you're a tree, you'll be stuck. Trees, animals, everything else that exists on this planet, whether you believe in God or something else, they operate from what you call genetics. So, dog and whoever have mating season. Outside of mating season, they're not mate. You have mating season? Sorry. Yes. Somehow no.
And I tell people, so people ask me all the time, sometimes, well, not all the time, sometimes, you know, how did you become like this free-spirited kind of person? Manny, Emmanuel, always ask me that. Always ask me them something like. Well, the first thing is that you discover that you're not a tree. You're not stuck in anything at all. You can operate one way of your life for 30, 40, 50 years and decide, say, I don't want to do this again. And start something else. Nobody prescribes how your life should be or your life. You understand what I say? So whatever it is that you want, you're a student now, but you can be a student entrepreneur. It even sounds better. If you want to go and post it on Instagram, go show off, say, I'm a student entrepreneur. Because we do a whole heap of things for Instagram. But the fact is, whatever it is that you want, ladies and gentlemen, go on feet. I have a little thing on me say, listen, man, about a weak and lean and feeble like italics. Be bold enough. You have to be bold and brave. All right? Facebook, Instagram, whoever. We like to talk about all of them people there. And what them do and what them never do and blah, 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 black sheep have yearling wool. Talk about them all the time and how much money them must spend on clothes versus how much they not spend on clothes and this and that and the third. Listen, Mark Zuckerberg shirt where you see look like t-shirt at $400 for one. $400, yeah. Me do my research and check it. Right? I will tell you this. 80% of the millionaires in the world, and when we use millionaires worldwide, we're talking about US dollars, because US dollar are the currency what them use worldwide. 80% of them are what? Can anybody guess? First generation millionaires. You know what that means? Then they broke like dog like me and you. I never have nothing. Somebody feel like because you see the man them up and down on TV and this and that, they were born that way. They weren't born that way. When I speak to his grandfather, I don't know if I know him grandfather, or great-grandfather, him tell me where him start. A lot of people just had an idea. And that's how things come, through ideas. And if me they come to you and say to you, say, yo, me have a song, you know, and I think it's going to run Jamaica, wicked. And you say, let me hear you, and I say, breadfruit. You want breadfruit? You're going to laugh and tell me, say, I eat that, right? And you run me away. And I say, Lali, shot, and you're going to run me away. And what the next one name? Beehive. Yeah. You're going to run me away, right? And tell me, say, I eat that. Right? But the man, them believing in themselves. One of my heroes in Jamaica, and it's going to sound so trivial, so trivial, is Tanto Blacks. You see, we laugh. One of my heroes in Jamaica is Tanto Blacks. Because ain't nobody believing in themselves more than Tanto Blacks. Ain't nobody believing in themselves more than Tanto Blacks. And that's what you need. And people like us who know have half the self-confidence as Tanto Blacks. I look upon him and I laugh. Tanto Blacks have when him say rich, and Jeffrey say it, and Gil President, you would say it. Man say rich before he rich, you know. What do you think is going to happen to him? Everything what the man do, man think about being rich. While you sit down and look upon $1,000 and can't go feed. Somehow, no. You understand what I go with that? You have to start believing self, man. So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to wrap up with this. To kill fear, as my friend Crystal Tomlinson would say, and start building self-confidence. Take it from Shabba. Shabba Ranks came out and said, me, man, big, dirty, ugly, stinking Shabba. What can you say to Shabba after that? If you break Shabba confidence. Nothing, right? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to write down all the things that you notice I keep saying write down, not on a piece of paper. You're going to have a book that you use for these things, whether goals, dreams, aspiration. Don't put it in your phone. Don't put it in none of them something. Phone have too much distractions. You have a little book where you use and you keep for them things here. You have to learn them things here too. You know. It's almost like a vision board. I just write down all your insecurities. And you have a little thing where you say in the mornings, and in the evenings, and in the afternoon. And if you can paste it somewhere where you always see it. Something positive. But write down all of the negative things where you can't stand about yourself. And get used to it. Nobody can tell me something again I'm feeling no way about it. Yeah. I always just rebut and say, at least I can get fat. If you're ugly, just rough. I never call their name, then just assume that them may attack. Right? Write them down. And then you write down your goals. And then you write down what I call your vision for yourself. And then these will change as you go along in life. One time I just didn't want to buy certain things. Now that don't really matter to me again. One time I just didn't want to afford to go certain parties. I don't go parties again. Kind of get used to it, been there, done that kind of thing. And you go through the stages. So I really look upon young people again and say them stupid. Because we're all there. I do foolishness. Right? But what you also need to do is embrace every stage of your life. You're a student now, embrace your student life. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, the earlier you start, the more the fortunes belong to you. If you're 50 and you start and you become a millionaire, who you think will get all your money? You're pitting them. But if you start in your 20s, you can enjoy some of it, right? Listen to naysayers. There's nothing wrong with listening to naysayers. Take it. Take whatever you want out of it, but also listen to positive people. There's nothing wrong with listening to people who are negative. Just ensure that you don't become a negative person yourself. Because they also need to show you what you don't want to become. So you need to listen to them every now and again. Not forever, because you don't want to night diffuse or osmosis or whatever. You understand what I say? Everybody? Everybody write down something and take the picture? And I post it on Instagram? I go looking at my DM and see it, because every time I'm at somebody, I see it. All right? Me that. Thank you.
So earlier when we convened, the representative from VM Wealth Management was not yet here. She's now here, so I'm going to invite her to come and do her presentation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Or should I say good morning, like Mr. Azan, right? Because I'm so in tune with what he said about helping persons to create wealth, right? So I am from Victoria Mutual Wealth Management. I am a wealth advisor there. And today I'm here to speak with you about wealth management, budgeting, and you. I like to interact with my crowd, right? My audience, I should say, rather. So guys, can you tell me, anyone, can you tell me what budgeting means to you? Any show of hands? Okay, good. Any other volunteer? In the back? What does budgeting mean to you? Go ahead. Yes? Correct. Correct. All right, so I know, I would say most of you guys in here are students, and you're probably not earning, right? However, your parents probably still give you money to come to school, to buy lunch, and so forth. So what I'm thinking is that you can still save, or you can still make a budget. Because I see a lot of hot girls in this place wearing their Bridgets and the Brazilian hair and all the nice things, the good things them, according to Ding Dong, the good things them, right? Right, so I'm saying that it's very important to make a budget. It doesn't matter what stage in life you are, whether you're earning full-time, part-time, you're getting funds. You're attending school, you probably have a job on campus, any little thing that gives you an income. So I'm saying that for budgeting is creating a plan to spend your money and to spend it wisely. And it is ensuring that you have money for the things you need versus what you want. So I'm saying that you might see a lot of things out there. The latest iPhone, iPhone X, probably XR, Samsung Galaxy Note 8 or 10, the MacBooks, all the nice things. I see my friend in the back, Ravi. But what I'm saying is that even though you might think that you need those stuff, if you really sit down and analyze, you realize it's really just a want and not necessarily a need. And what you find is that even though you may not be working, but you still have money to purchase those stuff, the iPhones and all of those lovely stuff. Imagine if you would have taken that money and invest, to say, in a unit trust or in the stock market. I know there are a lot of brilliant persons in this room, and they must know that Jamaica was the best performing stock market last year, correct? Very best, and that is very good. So imagine, even if it's a percentage of that money that you would take, and go and braff, according to the young people these days, because everything is braffing, right? Imagine if you take $10,000 and you start buying into an equity fund, or even buying individual stocks. And you don't necessarily need this money right now, but you're investing it for the long term. Imagine 5 years later how much that money can be worth if you just take the time, you invest, and you let it stay without have to be pulling from it, right? So I'm saying to you that it's very important that you set goals, even at this very, I would say, young stage in your professional career. It's important that you set goals and you identify your income and expenses, because you really don't, when you get into the working world, you don't want to be spending more than what you're earning, right? So you don't want, as my dear friend said, when she was working after 1 year, she only saved $4,000. Only $4,000. Imagine working for 365 days. And at the end of that, the only thing you have is $4,000. I don't even know what that can buy in this day and age. Nothing, right? So you have to ensure that you identify your income and you look at your expenses and you ensure that you separate your needs from your wants. It's very, very important, because a lot of time we tend to get the two confused, or we think that a want is a need. And sometimes our needs is what we put aside as our wants and think that, oh, we can put that off. But we need an iPhone or we need a MacBook. But we don't see the importance of saving $10,000. They really say you should save at least, I said 10 to 15% of your income. Just put aside that, and you see that it carries you a very, very far way. And it's good to put an action plan in place, and you stick to that plan. So you have to be very disciplined. Sometimes you may see your friends going to the parties, they're posting up there in the Grill, they're in Montego Bay, they're at the Royalton, they're at Rio, and you're sitting at home like, wow, I should be there. But you have to keep your goals in mind. Keep it in mind and realize that this is not a short-term plan. It's for the long term. It's who is going to benefit yourself, your kids, probably even your parents, right? So you have to be focused and know that you have to stick to your goals and your plans. And I have 4 pillars of investments, and I like to say to invest early. Invest early. I have a lot of students who come to me at Victoria Mutual who went on the work and travel. And I was very surprised when one of the very first student that I got, she came and she invested $100,000. And I'm there thinking to myself, but when I went and work and travel, this wasn't in my mind. All I wanted was Alistair jeans, an Abercrombie and Fitch shirt. I'm coming back and buying Bridget sandals. I'm buying computers and phones. And I'm there thinking, wow. She came and she brought $100,000. And she said that she saved her money when she went on work and travel. And that's probably, if you do the conversion, it's probably like $1,000, give or take. And probably most persons, when they go on work and travel, they really earn more than $1,000. So of course, she probably still spend and bought things that she would need, but she still decided that she was going to save something from it. And let me tell you, every like say month or 2 months, she would say, you know, I've saved up 10,000. I'm going to add it to my equity fund. And it's very amazing to see at that stage, you know, someone can have that frame of mind to say, you know, I'm starting to save, I'm investing. And she said to me that her ultimate goal is to purchase a house. And I'm saying that at that stage, which was like probably 4 or 5 years ago, that wasn't in my mind when I was in university. I wasn't thinking that far along to say, you know, I'm saving from now so that 5 or 6 years later or 7 years later when I graduate school, I get a job, I would at least have some of the funds saved up to make a deposit on a house. And she said that that's her ultimate goal. So investing early is very important, and also investing regularly. As what I said, she would come every month or 2 months and she would give a 10,000 or a 20,000, because remember that she's not earning every day. She's going to school. But I guess she would save from her lunch money. So she probably don't buy any Bridget sandals, or she don't go to any parties, she don't bruff, right? She's very smart. So that's good. And it doesn't have to be a large amount. You can do it in small increments. So don't ever think that, oh, it's just 10,000 or it's just 5,000. So it doesn't make any sense. You hear they always saying, one coke, a full basket. So it doesn't matter how small it is, always save, invest. And it's good to also diversify. So you don't have to put your eggs in one basket. So we have different products here at Victoria Mutual Wealth Management. We have the equity fund. We have a bond fund, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the international equity fund, right? We have the money market fund. So it's good that you diversify into different types of investment. And the last point is to stay invested. So you don't want to come and invest today, and then 2 weeks down the road, you come back and you say, you know, I think I want to buy something. And then you're going to come and take back the funds. It defeats the entire purpose. So you want to stay invested as long as possible so you can reap the real benefits of investing and saving, right? And the ultimate goal is to become financial independent, as my good friend Mr. Jeffrey Azan said. The ultimate goal in life is to become financial independent. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning. It's a catchphrase now. NCB has a tagline that says, putting your best life forward. Has anybody ever heard that? Is anyone here ready to put their best lives forward? Many times, we think about wealth, that only persons who are born in wealth can be wealthy. But I can tell you today that that's not necessarily the case. If you want to be wealthy, it takes discipline. Some of my colleagues have spoken about the different strategies and in terms of budgeting. But I want to add something to the budgeting aspect of it. If it is that you have a budget and it's in your head, it's not a budget. If your budget is in your head, it's not a budget. We have to put pen to paper and look at it realistically. Because if you don't look at what you're earning, if you cannot visualize that figure, and also visualize what it is that you are spending, then you find yourself spending and even going into your savings on a monthly basis, covering your expenses. And then at the end of a year, you say, where is all of this money that I save? Where is it? But what? If we don't itemize things and if we don't focus on what it is that we are earning and what we are spending, then we are in trouble. I know most of us in here, or most of you in here, are students getting ready for the work world. And one of the things I want to encourage you this afternoon is to develop that discipline from now. If it is that you wait until you start to earn, then you're going to try to start to save and you're going to try to start to budget and balance yourself, then you're going to find yourself in problem. Even as a student, you can save. Even as a student, you can invest. Let me use this example. In 2002, when Michael Leachin purchased NCB, it was $3 per share. $3 per share for the NCB stock. If persons had used $3,000 to purchase 1,000 units, for example, today that $3,000 would be worth over $14,000. The share price has moved from $3 to $144 plus now. Some would argue that only the wealthy can purchase stock. No. You and I have the capacity to do so. The only reason why I would say that you use a regular savings account is because you want to accumulate some money. But once you have reached that accumulation goal, then it's time to move it into something else that can be more beneficial. It is pointless having money on a savings account where you're getting less than 1% interest per year. That doesn't add up. Even if you had purchased NCB share 2 years ago, you would have gotten it at $82 or 80 something per share. You would have still almost made 100% on your money in 2 years. So what it is saying to us, that we can be wealthy. But it takes a certain level of discipline. Furthermore, we have to strategize. You have to strategize. You have to have a plan of action in order to achieve your financial goals. Yes, when you leave university, what next? You get a job, and what next? I'm sure you have your goals and your aspirations. Probably in another 5 years, you're thinking about owning your own home, starting a family, or even pursuing a master's degree, or whatever it is. But have you set a timeline in which you would like to achieve these goals? Many times I've seen persons who say, yes, I want to own a home. But when the housing scheme is being built, they don't have the deposit. The 5% or the 10% deposit to take care or to secure that home. What happens? That opportunity is going to pass you. And it is not wise to think about taking out a mortgage for the house and also taking a loan for the deposit. That's a double whammy. We have to be wise. We know what it is that we want to achieve. We have an idea now of what it costs. We can project what it is going to be like in another 3 to 5 years and save towards that goal. Right? So we have to put plans in place and documented plans to ensure that whatever it is that we want to achieve, we can do it. Earlier, Dwayne asked about persons who want to be entrepreneurs. And I saw several hands going up. Today, the pension fund industry is one of the richest free money available in Jamaica, which is almost $500 billion in value. I don't know if many persons listened to the Minister of Finance a couple months ago when he said that he's going to make available some monies through the pension funds for venture capitalism. My encouragement to all of you today who have that idea of being your own entrepreneurs, ensure that your business plans are sound. Ensure that your business plans can take you to the next level so that when you present it to any financial institution, they will see you worthy of participating in this venture capitalist fund. One of the things that a lot of persons fail to think about, even in their financial planning, we talk about short-term, medium, and long-term. But one of the things that a lot of persons fail to think about in their planning is even thinking about retirement as part of their financial planning or financial goals. I know you're young people and you're going to tell me that you're not going to live to see retirement, or you might not live to see retirement. But my question to you is, suppose you do. Suppose you do. Let me throw some statistics out there. Jamaica has between 1.2 and I think 1.4 million persons in the working population. With the exclusion of government workers, less than 10% of those persons participate in an organized retirement scheme. Less than 10%. So we're talking about almost less than 100,000 of 1.2 million. In another 5 years, we're looking at over 300,000 people going into retirement. The question to ask yourself, does Jamaica has a social net or the social infrastructure to take care of the needs of these persons who are not participating in a formal pension scheme? So I don't want us to leave here today not thinking about our financial planning holistically. Think about your short, medium, and long-term goals. And do not mix your priorities, because sometimes we use the medium-term goals money in the short term. And then we find ourselves in serious problem. Serious problem. So what we have to ensure that we have our priorities straight, so that whatever it is that we want to achieve in a year to 3 years, we save towards that. Whatever we want to achieve in 5 to 7 years, we have some money put down for that. And whatever we need to achieve in 10 years and beyond, we also have funds to take care of those needs. The information is available. And before 2006, 2007, a lot of our citizens did not have access to a formal retirement scheme, because if you weren't working with certain big corporations, then you would not have been able to access that. But now, since 2006 to 2007, the pension regulations have transformed the industry where there are individual retirement accounts. So even after you leave UWE and start to work, and if your company does not provide you with a pension arrangement, you can go to several financial institutions, including NCB, and say, I want to open a retirement plan for myself. Taking into consideration that your pension plan is one of those instruments that gives you tax-free interest. So if you earn $1 interest on your pension plan, that's what you will get on your account. Furthermore, it is a tax-deductible amount. So you actually end up paying less taxes to the government while retaining some for yourself in terms of your pension plan, because your pension contributions are taken out before your statutory deductions are calculated. So I want us to look at these things and ensure, before you even leave UWI, whether you're in second or third year, before you even leave this institution, ensure that you write down your plan of action. Put pen to paper and devise a strategy. Have your plan. You know what it is that you want to achieve. And document how it is that you're going to achieve them in the time frame that you want to do so. Because if you don't do that, you will find yourself 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, still wanting to own a home, still wanting to get a master's degree, still wanting a family. You will still find yourself 10 years down the road not being able to achieve your goals. So my encouragement to you today, find a financial advisor who can give you some guidance. You might not know what is happening in the stock market. You might not understand it. You might not understand what is happening in the bonds market or the real estate market and all of these things. But there are professionals out there who can help you and help you formulate a plan to get to your particular goals. So, ensure that you do document your goals in order for you to achieve them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we've heard the substantive presentations from each of our panelists. We are now going to go into the interactive session, which will be anchored by my able moderator, co-moderator, Paige. Have a great rest of the afternoon, and I'll see you again soon.
All right, thank you so much, my co-host, as he leaves. It was really a pleasure working with you, and thank you so much to our panelists as well. And at this time, we're going to get right into it. It's a bit late, so I'm going to ask for all our panelists to just rejoin me on the platform. And ladies and gentlemen, this is your time now to pose questions to the panel.
Good evening to the panel of judges. Good evening to the audience. My question is, what would be your advice on someone maintaining discipline? How do they maintain their discipline?
Check if it's on.
Yeah, okay. There is many ways that you can maintain discipline and develop discipline. The exercise I like to give people is sleep. Sleep is the best exercise to exercise discipline. Reason being, sleep is the only mandatory thing that you have to do. It's the only mandatory activity you have to do. And yet most of you don't have a set bedtime and you don't have a set wake-up time. So if you cannot discipline yourself to what is mandatory, how do you discipline yourself to what is optional? So a good exercise, you don't even have to start with what time to go to bed. Start with what time you want to wake up every day. I personally recommend 2 to 3 hours before your day start, because if you can win the morning, you can conquer the day.
Yeah.
And if you can discipline that wake up, you'll automatically reset your go to bed, and you'll find that in conquering that, you can conquer other areas in your life. But it's just simple. If you can't be disciplined in what is mandatory, you'll never be disciplined in what is optional.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Azan. Any more questions? Okay, we have one from Alicia. All right, and just one more right after. I see your hand.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alicia Ramdal. My question is, I believe that financial knowledge, first I want to congratulate Emmanuel. I think this is an excellent symposium, and I think that as students we definitely need more of these. Yes, so a round of applause for him. Okay, so if you want to become a lawyer, you know that you have to go to law school. if you want to learn how to swim, you know that you have to go to a swimming class. But we have no set place as young adults to go to learn how to manage our finances. And there is a wealth of knowledge available on the internet from persons that have experienced it. But if you were to tell everyone here today exactly where they should go to find this knowledge and to find credible knowledge, what would you say?
Okay. I know this was one of the things I wanted to say, and it slipped me when I was presenting. There is a book out there called Money, Master the Game by Tony Robbins. It debunks the 7 myths of money. It has everything in there from how to build interest, how to manage your fees, what are the perfect portfolios, what type of portfolios, what are the ways for your money to make your own money. It is a first-class guide into money. But the truth is, you already got the tip from all the panelists today, and what we kind of all spoke on is you have to set aside the time to work, you have to set aside the time to write, and you have to set aside the time to actually drill into your numbers. I personally, and this isn't taking away, everybody else can do their plug if they want, I personally, in my Money Matters workshop, have a budgeting exercise that I let people to do. It's 273 individual line items. If I give most of you in here that, you won't get through the first 50. But the thing is that you spend money on more than that in a month, in individual spending. So if you can't track the money that's going out, don't even bother worry about what money is coming in, because it won't matter. All right, so it starts in tracking the money that's going out, but also I strongly recommend that book as a good guide and lesson. Name of the book is Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins.
All right, quickly. So while you're getting that book, here's something that you can do very quickly right now. So let's write this down. All right? Of every dollar that you make, you hearing me? First 10% goes to your savings. All right? Pay yourself first. Write that down. Go have to move fast. Class won't start. Next 10%. You're going to set it aside. So let's use $100. So you have $90 left, right? So the next $10 or next 10% goes to what you call a passive investment. So you're going to save it and put it towards probably some bonds or whatever. But just put that aside until you reach where you want it to reach, and then you invest it. So passive investment, meaning you don't have to do much. You just put it on and go back for it later. All right? Following? Next one. Next 10%. How much we there now? How much we have left? $80. Next 10%. Active investment. So something that you actively have to be doing. Like stocks. Maybe some of you start a local business, so you're actively involved in that. So you put money towards that. All right? Get that? How much money we have left? 70. Next 10%, charity. Help somebody. Whether you go give it as tithes or you're going to help somebody or go bust. So you need to help people. So get that as a part. Let me tell you something. The richest people in the world are big givers. I think I heard somebody, Jeffrey said it. You have to give. You have to build that charitable spirit within yourself, all right? So how much we have left? 60%? You can braff with that. Now, even if you blow 60% of your money for the rest of your life, you're sure. So you have 10% of every dollar you save, and you have an investment to go on, you have a little business to go on, and you'll be all right. But you have to develop one word that will get you financially free, and it's discipline. Discipline for wake up in the mornings. And so it's a work in progress. I mean, I have to battle with getting up early in the mornings because I go to bed extremely late at nights. All right? That's me.
All right, so, all right, your question will be the last question, Meeks. Go ahead. Just state your name.
Okay, I'm Sondre Roden. Are you?
Go ahead, Sondre.
Okay, so having talked to a lot of students about financial freedom, a lot of them don't know specifically what it is or what it means to be financially free. So I'm asking, at what stage in life do you think, as growing young people, at what stage in life do you think it's best for you to start working towards your financial freedom?
All right, so as I said in my presentation, the earlier, the better. Start now, right? The earlier you start, it means that you can enjoy the fruit of your labor. As what Dwayne said, imagine if you start in your 20s, you can actually enjoy some of those hard work versus if you get rich, to say, in your 50s. You really can't enjoy it at that stage. So I would say start now. You're not going to be financially independent in your early 20s if you're like earning your honest bread and working and building yourself, building your brand. But if you start now, I would say, Dwayne, back me up, probably, I would say in your mid-30s, depending on what. And if you're consistent and disciplined, right? So if you're consistent and disciplined, I can definitely say you're compounding interest, right? So remember, right. So remember I was saying in my presentation that when you invest, you want to stay invested. So you don't want to take off your investment. So you let your money keep compounding and your interest, earning interest, and so forth. So I would say if you're disciplined, you start early. I would say definitely by your mid-30s, you can, or late 40s, you can, or early 40s, you can say, you know what, I am financially free, I'm financially independent, and I feel like I am at this stage in my life where I can say my bills are covered, my kids are okay, you maybe have to give back to your parents a little bit, probably not every month, but even after all those expenses, you can still say that you're comfortably enough because you have surplus. So the bottom line is to start early, no.
Thank you so much, Ms. Peter Gay. Unfortunately, our time here has ended. But before we go, we must, of course, acknowledge the organizers and thank other persons who have invested into this forum. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And hold on, the vote of thanks is coming.
All right, so quickly, a very special thanks to the Faculty of Social Sciences, particularly the Dean, Professor David Tennant, Miss Marjorie Sigree, Raven Reed for choosing to partner with Minute Motivation for putting on this successful symposium. I want to also thank our panelists. It's a very special thanks to you because without you, then this wouldn't be possible any at all. A very special thanks also to our wonderful and truly awesome moderators, even though one had to leave before the time. A special thanks as well to our sponsors. You know yourself, JN, Dairy Industries, Student Loan Bureau, Educom Cooperative Credit Union, the University Bookshop, VMBS Victoria Mutual Group, Cool Runnings Adventure Park, National Commercial Bank, Jambisco, Select and Start. Thanks to the Mona Media, the Dewey Guild of Students, Minute Motivation team, Ms. Camille Reed, as well as Ms. Beverly Bogle from the UA Marketing Office.